We're talking about divine feminine pleasure today. We're talking about how to use your joy, your pleasure as the ultimate act of rebellion. You've heard me say this that I believe that there is a happiest daughter award in heaven, and I want my parents to receive it. And this has been a journey of many decades in the making for me to overcome the normal human consciousness of being addicted to suffering. I've been talking about this for over a decade now, that human beings naturally, through millions of years of evolution, through hardships and famine and tribal wars, have been addicted to suffering. That is the natural state. Now, how much of this someone inherits depends on a few different factors. So, sure, are some people more addicted to suffering than others? Of course. However, we all have it. And to overcome this, we need spiritual consciousness. We need what I call my embodied metaphysics framework and methods to overcome this, because once you do, a whole new world opens up for you. So let me know if you are watching live. I see there is a little bit of a lag. Just want to make sure that everything is good before I really dive deep into this. I want to talk to you about there's two things that if you can master these two things within yourself, you can really materialize the kind of reality that you desire for yourself. And before I explain that to you, I want to tell you something that I saw happening on Facebook the other day. And I really want to dive into this conversation on a really deep level. So, there was this post on Facebook about a woman talking about how, if you are a successful, high achieving, driven woman with big dreams, you cannot marry down. You can't marry a man that's below you in status or money or all the things, because he's going to be insecure and you're going to trigger him. Now, on the surface, this appears to be a good conversation, right? It's like, okay, yeah, makes sense. Maybe don't marry someone below you because you're going to trigger them. But there is a really big problem with this argument. There's a huge flawed premise that gets a lot of women in trouble. And I want to have that deeper conversation. Hi, Paula. So nice to catch you live. So, the deeper problem is that you think that there is some kind of a magical man or magical woman or magical number in the bank or magical income where people won't be triggered by you. And this is a problem, because let me explain something to you. All human beings get triggered. All human beings experience jealousy. Some human beings even experience envy, which is a lot worse than jealousy. And there is no income level that guarantees that your man, your best friend, even I've even seen your mother, will not at some point in time be triggered by your success. And that's okay. I can't tell you how many women I have coached that married up. They married the hunter, the alpha man that was more successful than them, way more successful. And yet, at some point, he got insecure, he got triggered, maybe he became ill. Maybe she just blew up in her success. Maybe she was getting more compliments than he was getting. Maybe he lost his job right when her business was blowing up. And this is not necessarily a bad thing. The problem that I have with this argument is that you think that the best thing you can do is keep your life so small that you don't have to hold the pressure of people getting triggered by you. That's the problem with this argument. That you think all you have to do is surround yourself by certain people and they will then magically never be triggered by you. And this is a big problem because this does not exist. You are a woman incarnated in a unique time where you have more rights, more power, more grit, more resilience, more education, more resources at your fingertip than ever before. And you have the opportunity to use your beauty, your voice, your femininity, your education, your skill sets, your feminine offering to make millions of dollars while impacting millions of lives. And you think that no one's going to be triggered? You think that there's people around you that are suddenly never going to feel insecure around you? Oh boy, you are in for a rude awakening because that does not exist. That does not exist. What I see for you and what I see for all womankind, all of women and men, is to get to a level of pleasure and pressure holding in your nervous system where if you are in a room with your partner, with your mother, with your best friend, with your sister, with your colleagues, and you trigger them and they feel insecure, that's okay. Because you understand that that is just the name of the game, that that is actually happening for them, that you triggering them, that you showing them what's possible, and thus for a moment, maybe making them insecure, that's not a bad thing. That is still you being in service. That is still you doing God's work. And so I think we need to change the conversation because I assure you, after having tens of thousands of women go through my paid courses, group containers, private coaching, and hundreds of thousands of women that I've held for free over 15 years, there is no magical man that's never going to get triggered by you. There is no magical man that's never going to feel insecure. But that's a good thing. That's how you bring out other people's king and queen consciousness. That trigger is good because this viewpoint actually trains us into thinking that if we trigger our man, there's something wrong with him, that we chose the wrong man, or there's something wrong with us, that maybe I should just play small. And all of this happens unconsciously behind the scenes. You will trigger people. You will trigger good people. That's a good thing. I have triggered people that I love dearly. And in the moment, it probably didn't feel good for them or for me. I'll tell you, it didn't feel good for me. But what came after that was magical because it made them realize, wow, I have big dreams too. I want to do things too. She's pointing out Delta. She's pointing out what's possible and that I'm not living my best, richest life. Thank you, Simone. I appreciate you so much, gorgeous. I appreciate the super chat. Love that viewpoint. Take the negative out of the trigger. Yes, because now what happens is we're choosing these imaginary unicorn men or friends, and then we're thinking that we're never going to trigger them, and then we trigger them, and then we isolate ourselves, or we play unconsciously, we play small. It's okay if your dad gets triggered by you once in a while. It's okay if your husband gets triggered by you once in a while. It's okay if other men and women feel insecure in your presence. That's okay. That's not a bad thing. It's normal. We have been in the presence of people where we felt triggered. I know I have been. I have been in the presence of women that were so in their pleasure when I was in my self-aware Barbie stage that they triggered the hell out of me. So much so that I started eventually asking, oh my God, what is it about this woman that triggers me so much? All she's doing is having fun. Why the hell am I so triggered by her? Oh, I'm not allowing myself to be in my pleasure, to have fun. Why? And then as I went deeper and deeper and deeper, I uncovered that I had so much trauma from my past that being in my pleasure, being in my fun felt dangerous to my nervous system. And those women helped me realize that. What if they were like, Mina's triggered, she seems insecure right now, let me not have fun. Let me not be in my pleasure. Would that have served me ultimately? No. And so pleasure and joy is the ultimate act of not only rebellion. I believe that my parents are going to get the most happiest daughter on earth award in heaven. And that's what I'm going for. That is the lineage debt, how I'm paying it back. Because my ancestors, including my parents, went through a lot for me to be here today. For me to be sitting here with this many resources, the level of education that I have, the level of wisdom that I have, the level of peace that I have, every single thing came because of their sacrifices and their love for me. Whether they knew me or not, there is a level that they invested in me. And how can I pay them back? By being joyful, by living a happy life, by living in my pleasure, by really counting my blessings every single day so much that my nervous system is flooded with appreciation every single day, by allowing those around me to be momentarily triggered, to be momentarily insecure. These are not bad human emotions. There's no such thing as bad emotions. There's just preferred ones. And that will be the thing that opens up their mind if they're open to it, to thinking, wow, what is it about her that is triggering me so much? Just like I started eventually asking that question, that what is it about these certain particular women that trigger me? And I started noticing a pattern that all of them were in their pleasure and in their joy, even if they didn't have reason to be. Some of these women had gone through really hard things and were going through really hard things at the moment. And yet they were joyful. They allowed duality to exist within them. And so this comes back to the two greatest assets that every high achieving, driven, huntress, spiritual led women needs to embody. If you, I'm like really just giving it to you today. Learn to embody these two things and success will be at your doorstep. But if you run away from these two things, you will always be chasing something and you will never find it. It will always be away from you. It will always be escaping you. Shannon said, hi, Mina, and hello, ladies. Thanks for your abundance event last week. It was amazing. I'm so glad you enjoyed yourself, Shannon. Oh my God, it was the best thing I've ever created. I'm still like in cloud nine from the energy that was created in that event. Hi, Kabibi. Kabibi was the star of the show at Addicted to Abundance, and here she is. Okay, so these are the two things. These are your greatest assets as a woman. Number one, your ability to flood your system and your environment around you with pleasure. Not fake pleasure, not fleeting pleasure, not what I call fake lovers, real, authentic, embodied pleasure just oozing out of your being and extending beyond you into the environment. The world is starving for this right now. The world is starving for your authentic, natural expression. No performing, just real, authentic pleasure and you existing in it. This requires inner work for some of us. I know it did for me. This requires us to enjoy what we have. This requires us to not automate things so much that we forget that whatever we have at the moment was something that we deeply desired at some point. We deeply longed for it. We craved it. This requires us to be enjoying the blessings that we currently have. This means we keep our body open and then we feel all the feels. We feel all the things, even the things that we don't want to feel. Because when you're open, you feel it all. The good, the bad, the ugly. So the ability to hold pleasure in your body, it requires inner work, it requires embodiment, but it will change not only your life, but the life of all of those around you, even the people that you trigger, even the people that feel insecure around you. You will change their genetic history because remember, we are pair bonding creatures and we calibrate nervous system to nervous system. So there is such a thing called fear transference. You transfer fear to people. There is also such a thing as pleasure transference. This is why we enjoy watching people that are lit up by life. We enjoy watching unboxings. We enjoy watching someone's joy. We enjoy watching people celebrating because in that moment, there's pleasure transference happening. And this is not something you can perform because we can see that too. We can see the performance, we can see the authentic pleasure. So that's the number one thing that you need to be able to embody and hold in your system especially if you have big dreams, especially if you're driven, especially if you're ambitious, especially if you are what I call a feminine huntress like me. You need to be able to hold pleasure in your body, regardless of those around you. And it's not circumstantial pleasure, it's pleasure for the sake of pleasure. Pleasure because it is pleasure. Pleasure because this is just your natural embodiment. Pleasure because you use joy and pleasure as an act of rebellion against the human suffering. That. Okay, so you might be thinking now, well, what's the second thing, Mina? And this one is even bigger and it requires even more from you. It will require all of you, all of you. This is something you cannot fake. And this is the ability to hold pressure. The ability to hold pressure. What does that look like? That looks like someone's triggered in front of you. They're calling you out. They're like, you used your boobs, you used your beauty, you didn't earn it, you have it easy. And instead of shrinking, instead of contracting, instead of fighting, instead of flighting, instead of saying, well, no, you're great too, fawning, you hold the pressure. You allow what is there to be. My mom would say, let it play out. You allow the trigger that this person is experiencing to be there. You allow the deep uncomfort that you feel, because as women, we have been evolved to be agreeable. We have been evolved to make other people feel comfortable in our presence. We have evolved to not make any, like, not ruffle any feathers. And you allow the trigger and the discomfort that you right now feel in your body because someone is triggered by you. Maybe this is a loved one. Maybe this is a client. Maybe this is a colleague. You allow them to be and you hold the pressure. You don't try to release the pressure by screaming at them. You don't try to release the pressure by being passive aggressive. You don't try to release the pressure by stooping down to their level. You just allow it to be. This is the most potent container expansion exercise that you can do in your life. And you will become unstoppable. People will think you are superhuman because this is a superhuman ability. The ability to hold that level of projection, that level of opinions, which then opens up your channels to open more money, hold more money, receive more opportunities, receive what I call more divine provision that comes in all sources, all forms. We talked about this at Addicted to Abundance, and tomorrow and Saturday, next 2 days, we're talking about this deeply in divine provision, which, by the way, I think there's an hour left for the early bird. So grab that if that is on your mind. But I'm doing a 2-day immersion. So what is divine provision? It's a 2-day immersion on the ultimate state of receivership. So this is my high-end divinity manifestation course, what I call materializing your reality using divine spiritual codes. So that's happening tomorrow and Saturday. And you need to learn how to open up your channels, but how open will your channels be if the conversations you're participating in is how men are insecure? Or how, you have to marry up. Well, what if you marry up and that guy is insecure too? He will be. He will be. Because we're not, as men and women, we're not used to what is happening right now. It's new. In my light body course yesterday, we had a really deep, rich conversation on how someone brought up like men being in their pleasure and how that's so good. And I said, it's duality. Women are not comfortable with men being in their pleasure. We've never had this before. What that means, it feels really uncomfortable when a man is in his pleasure and laying down and playing video games. Why is that really uncomfortable? Because it makes us feel like if did I lose internet connection? No, I'm good, I think. Okay. It makes us feel like if he's laying on the couch, who's watching out for the lion? Who's looking out for us? Maybe I have to do that. Maybe I have to be in my masculine. Is that wrong or bad? No, it's just human recoding. It's called human evolution. So as men and women push society, beyond what we're used to, beyond what we're wired for, it's really uncomfortable for men and women. So for me, it's really it was, oh my God, when Irfan started working from home during COVID, it was so uncomfortable. Even though I knew he was probably working even more now because he helps me a lot when he's at home. So he's doing his full-time job and helping me with the kids and like doing all the things, right? You guys met Irfan, you saw how he is. And yet, when he would be sitting, it felt really uncomfortable for me. And I really journaled on this and thought about this and sat with it and contemplated. And I'm like, oh my God, because in the tribe, in the tribal days, there was always a man looking out. There was always a group of men looking out. And he's my tribe. He's my group of men. He's like 20 men horsepower in my life. So if he's sitting and resting, he's in his pleasure, he's earned it. But I'm uncomfortable with that. And so I told him I'm like, sorry, but this is why I keep coming to you and giving you a whole laundry list of things when I see you sitting, because there's an evolution mechanism playing out inside of me. And interestingly enough, after that, I started coaching women that, had amazing relationships with their partners, and then their partner retired from work, and suddenly they started feeling uncomfortable. And so when I explained to them our really weird relationship with testosterone being around, and then the whole thing with he's resting, he's in his pleasure. Does this mean he married the wrong woman? No, it just means we're human. And now that we're pushing the boundaries of our evolution and our existence, it feels really uncomfortable at times for men and women. It doesn't mean he married up or he married down or he should have, none of that. This is just human beings being human. And instead of going into, I'm wrong or bad or he's wrong or bad, and I need to like ditch him. It's like, wow, let me call attention. Let me shine some light on the fact that I'm humaning right now. And this feels really uncomfortable. Simone, welcome to Level Up Queen. She said, I switched out laundry and a $20 bill fell out of the dryer. I'm using that to treat myself to this membership. Oh my goodness. Talk about a quick manifestation. I love this. That's divine provision at its best. I love that. So there are so many nuances to human relationships beyond just, cut everyone off. She's jealous of you. Jealousy is a normal human emotion. Are there people, my cousin always, oh my gosh, she's so funny. My cousin finds it really disturbing. She says, why is it that some people can't hide it? She's like, I'm okay with women feeling jealous. She's like, why are some people so bad at hiding it? That's like a whole conversation that she has around jealousy. Some people are bad at hiding it. Okay, but it is a normal human emotion. It does not mean you are doing anything wrong. Now, are there people that go to extremes and their jealousy turns into envy? Yes. Are those people we need to look out for? Yes. And just quickly giving you the definition between jealousy and envy. Jealousy is, I want what you have. Normal human emotion. This is what can trigger a person's dormant desire, right? Their desire was there. They weren't listening to it. So the universe crosses your path with theirs so they can see you having the thing that they deeply want. And that triggers them into owning their desire. That's the purpose of jealousy. Envy is not just, I want what you have. Doesn't even matter. I don't want you to have it. And I'm willing to go to certain things, certain lengths, certain maybe even extremes to make sure you don't have it. I'm going to take it away from you. I'm so far away from even owning that I get to have this. I don't even want you to have it. So they say to the universe, not only am I not going to own my desire, how dare you place someone in my field that has this? I will rip it away from them. Those are two different things. We can handle jealousy. We can handle someone feeling insecure in our presence. Envy is where we need to distance. We need to let them be, but we need to distance. But we cannot, as women that are building big lives, materializing huge realities, walk around tiptoeing or thinking that there is some magical unicorn human beings that we're gonna be with that's never gonna feel insecure. Some people are just better at hiding it. And your man feeling insecure with you is not a bad thing. That's what awakens his king consciousness. That's definitely not a bad thing. Your best friend getting triggered by your success, it's not a bad thing. You being in rooms where people are like, whoa, look at this shiny soul, look at this woman in her pleasure, look at this woman overflowing with joy, that's not that, and them feeling insecure, that's not a bad thing. But you limit your divine provision when you limit your life because you think you are the keeper of other people's insecurity and their jealousy and their emotions. And so you're constantly what Irfan calls tampering your life, tampering the system to make it so that they're not triggered. So make it so that you're not in certain rooms. So make it so that they don't see your blessings. But you don't have to live that way. You are created here as a huntress, as a driven woman, as ambitious to actually trigger people into waking up. You're actually here to trigger them into realizing what they are capable of and where they're playing small and where they're not, activating their desires and their calling. That's what you're here to do. You're truly changing my life for the better. Ah, that makes me so happy to hear, Simone. Amazing, amazing. And so I want to invite you. I've got two things that I'm enrolling for right now. I've got my Dubai event happening in April. This is Sheena's event that I do every year to honor her legacy. And I try to do it based on two of her favorite topics, which were money and business. And so this year we're doing business. And so we're going to be building out our $1 million offer. And this could be whether you have a physical business or an online business, or you're an author or a public speaker, or you want to do those things, we're going to be building that out. There's going to be a lot of fun, food, dancing, all the things, a lot of masterminding, a lot of building out workshopping. This is more intimate than Addicted to Abundance. So that's happening in April, and we're still in the early bird enrollment for that. So that's linked in the description box. The second thing that's happening starts tomorrow, and it's a 2-day online immersion. I recognize that some people are not in their self trust, they're not in their self ownership, they're not in that point where they can say yes to an in person event, even though I want you to push your limits. I want you to say yes. I want you to do things beyond your comfort level. But I understand that not everyone's there. And so I'm doing uh, my 2-day online immersion. So I'm going to bring what I brought to Addicted to Abundance in person online to the best of my ability. And we're talking about materializing our reality taught from the high-end divinity perspective. So you don't have to be in the high-end divinity stage, but it's deep level manifestation and the act of receivership coursework, and even just the library of resources that I'm going to be giving you guys in that 2 days is worth over 10K. We have, I think, 1 hour left for the early bird. It's a like no brainer. You'll go see it. And this is manifestation content you're not going to find anywhere else. I've never taught it. It's never been taught before. It's brand new, deeply science backed, spirituality backed, God backed, like all the things. So that link is also in the description box for you guys. Let me know if I have a couple minutes. I'm headed to lunch with some of my clients, but I have a couple minutes. So if you have questions, feel free to put that in the chat. I'll give you guys a second. Talk about divine timing. Yes. Simone, I feel you. How amazing. I can't wait to post more of our media team is working on the recording of Addicted to Abundance, and I can't wait to post more content around that. It's harder on YouTube because there's a lot of copyright strikes and things you can get for playing music, and we had so much fun and joy in music and dancing at this event. Just a natural expression of my soul. My thing with Addicted to Abundance was how can I bring more of how I actually live to my in-person event without literally moving you guys in with me? And that's hard to do on YouTube because, again, we can't play music, we can't dance. My life is a big fat dance party. I grew up on Bollywood, and I was like, I am bringing all of that to Addicted to Abundance, and we nailed it. We nailed it. It was so much fun. So much fun. It was one of those events that I'm gonna remember for the rest of my life, like one of those core memory moments. We are supposed to have bad weather this weekend. Can't wait to catch up on your videos. Yes, here as well. Are you in Houston? In Houston too, we're getting a freeze. It's been a mild winter so far, but we are getting a freeze. For all the self-aware Barbie level girls, the dancing actually does put the tense energy in our chest back into your belly. What an energy shift. Yes, yes. It was just like the right people at the right time in the right room kind of a thing. Like I don't, this is not something that one person creates. It was such a co-creative energy transfer. It was amazing. It was amazing. I have a few minutes. I'm going to talk about something really quickly that came up yesterday. So, one of my clients shared very generously and gracefully that she was triggered by seeing all the dancing, especially because in my, um, what was it? What was the course called? That recent thing I did on branding. I'm totally forgetting the branding masterclass I recently did. I talked about that you don't have to be a performer, that you don't have to perform and you don't have to dance. And she said, well, why were you dancing then, right? And so here's how I function and here's how my inner cosmology. When I'm doing these in-person events or even online, my thing is how can I be more of me? How can I be less in self one and more in self two? And how can I show you my natural, most authentic expression of my soul? Which means that I won't do anything that I wouldn't normally do. Do I every single day dance on Bollywood music in my house? Yes. So I did that. Would I do something that another creator recommended? They flew in I think it's called acoustic professional. This is a music trained person that comes, and what they do is they put everyone in a trance so that they'll buy from you at the event. Would I do that? No. To me, that's performing. That's not me. I don't need to put my clients in a trance to buy from me. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you want to do that, that's not me, right? Would I go and learn how to, I don't know, juggle because someone told me that that makes more sales? No. Why? Because I don't juggle. That's not my thing. So, would I wear certain colors if I found out that this sells more? No, because that's not my color. Why did I wear the colors that I wore at this event? Because I wear those colors. Those are my favorite colors. Why did I wear why did I have outfit changes between my Pakistani dresses and American dresses? Because I'm Pakistani American and that's how I actually dress in real life. So in my everyday life, I wear both Pakistani dresses and American dresses. So that's what I did. Was that a sales strategy? No. So what I mean when I say you don't have to dance if you don't want to, you don't have to perform, you don't have to wear certain colors, you don't have to hire people that are going to put other people in a trance if that's not because I don't want you to do anything that is against your values, that you wouldn't normally do, that makes you feel uncomfortable, that is not a natural expression of your soul, right? It's not a strategy. There were people DMing me like psychoanalyzing why I wore certain dresses on stage or why I danced. And the thing is, I'm not thinking that hard about it. I dance because my life is a dance party and I can't do that on YouTube because of copyright issues. So I'm like, how can I bring more of my life to Addicted to Abundance? Oh, wow, let's get a DJ. We got a Pakistani DJ because Pakistani DJs can play Pakistani music, Indian music, Middle Eastern music and American music, but other DJs can't play all of those, right? So what did I do? I stayed so close to my true natural personality. My culture, my family was there supporting you guys. My husband was in his element. The way he supports me at home is how he supported me at this event. So nothing was like, let's do this because then this. It was none of that. It was just, this is just who I am. Now, other people might be seeing that and say, okay, Mina danced, so let me dance. But if they don't normally do that, it might not feel authentic to them. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. And it's not going to work for you anyways if that's not who you are. But you know what's going to really work for you? You, how you really are. So if you are really close to your culture, Bring your culture to your work. If you're really close to certain colors, like I have been obsessed with the color teal since I was a little girl. It's my favorite color. My office is painted teal. Now, there might be people psychoanalyzing why I use teal, but the truth is, I just love it. There's no sales psychology there. There's no strategy other than it's my favorite color. And that's what I mean, that you don't have to do anything that is beyond what you want to do, that is not real for you. Because what works 100% of the time is what is authentic to you, your real self, your culture, your accent, the way you are in your relationships. That works. Now, some people might have been like, you can't play your country's music. Most of the people there are not from your culture. That's okay that they're not there. They're there. They have chosen to work with me because of who I am. And they understand that my culture is a big part of my life. And I believe that my people are not going to feel uncomfortable because I played Pakistani music or Indian music or Middle Eastern music at my event. Do you see? But if I was using it as a strategy, what even my own mentors would have told me is that get a specialist that's going to play certain music that increases sales. That's not me. I'm okay even if I make less. I'm okay because this is a natural expression of my soul. This is my calling. And my calling is all of me. It's my culture. It's the music that I actually listen to. It's the way that my husband and I actually are in real life. It's the way my children are involved in my business and learn from it and grow from it. My children wore what they wanted to wear. We played the music we wanted to play. We did what we would have normally do if you were a guest in our home, because that is a part of my calling. And so that's what I want you to do. I don't want you to think, oh, she did this, so this must be a sales tactic. So let me do this, even though it doesn't make any sense for me to wear this color or play this music or wear this outfit. I don't want you to do that because I want to see your gift. I want to see you shining. I want to see in you, in your culture, in your favorite colors, in your joy, in your pleasure, listening to your favorite music. And that's what I want to see from you. We danced to every song. We sure did. It was just, I am going to cherish the memories of this event. I have watched the clips thousands of times already. Like I'm not exaggerating. My cloud has been in the my head has been in the clouds nonstop, just thinking about what we created. I miss it. I want it again. I'm planning out Dubai right now. I'm planning out the next Houston intensive. I've got so many big plans for more in-person things, more online things, and I'm really, really excited. I'm really, really excited for what's to come. Uh, yeah, Simone, I'll do another video. Actually, Simone, if you search for career women feminine Mina Irfan, I have videos on that topic, exactly the one that you're talking about, from like 7, 8, 9 years ago, still timeless content. So search for that. I do have to go. I've got a couple of my clients that I'm meeting for lunch. And then if you still have questions after watching that, I'll do a follow-up. I love the music. There was Latin and I love all the other ones too. We just danced the night away. We had so much fun. I miss it so much. Oh, it was so much fun. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in Divine Provision tomorrow. I have figured out how to play all kinds of music on Zoom. I took me a little bit to get over that technology hump, but I'm going to be playing music tomorrow and Saturday as well. And I love you. Have the most blessed day, and I'll see you in the next one.